The Switch 2 may be fixing the Joy-Cons, but not the fix you expected. Hello and welcome back to Mood News with your host, me, Mads from Get Mads. This is Mood News. Welcome. Today, we're going to be discussing some new rumors which are coming out about the Switch 2. Believe it or not, because that's coming soon, hopefully. I mean, watch it not come out till 2027 and us all look like fools, but who cares? Because it's fun to discuss rumors. And today's rumor comes from a Switch accessory manufacturer, which apparently gave us a few new sneaky peeks at what the Switch 2 controllers and hardware in general may look like. This comes from My Nintendo News, which said that Mobipad, which is a Nintendo Switch accessory manufacturer, has published details regarding what the Switch 2 may look like. While nothing should be taken as truth until it's officially unveiled by Nintendo, the accessory manufacturer says that the Nintendo Switch 2 features a 1080p screen with a dock capable of 4K output. Now, we thought about this before, everyone's been talking about this. This seems like a no-brainer, right? This is just the obvious information which any old schmuck could guess. Oh, the Switch is going to be 1080p instead of 720p, and it will be able to output to 4K. Oh, this is such a crazy idea. What an insane concept. Nobel Prize winning. No, that's not the detail we want to focus on today. The Switch 2 will be backwards compatible with the Nintendo Switch games? No! Also, that's not what we're going to be talking about today. But changes to the new Joy-Cons? Yes, that is what we're discussing today. So the first change apparently is there's going to be new buttons on the controllers. There's going to be one below the home button on the right controller. And there's also going to be like two new pads on the back of them. Not really sure what these are going to be used for. We could guess it's going to be similar to the Steam Deck, where it has those little back bumper things, and maybe this could be used for more Joy-Con HD rumble type stuff, or it could just be new. Or what I think will be most is when you're holding the Wii remote on its side, you know how the B button is there and you can sort of press it? I think this is designed so when you have the Joy-Cons off and you're playing in tabletop mode, you'd be able to have a back bumper instead of those two tiny little nibs of SL and SR, because no one really likes those, in my opinion. I always get cramps when I'm holding the Switch controller like that, and no one both slide the little rails on them, so you're always playing like that, even though they have little rail bumpers, which is a fun idea, right? I like those little rail bumpers. Oh, it feels quite nice. We even had those little Switch wheels for Mario Kart, which gave you big old triggers for those. That was great too. But this seems like they're sort of, skewing towards a more direction similar to how the Wii was when it was on its side, because that didn't have bumpers on the top. And this is cool for me because I love the Wii, but besides, that's just my theory of how it is. And of course, we have that second button on the right controller, and who really knows what this could be used for? We, of course, still have screenshot, we have home. What could be that for, huh? Ooh, some little, sneaky things. Maybe a camera? That would be sick. If the Switch 2 has a camera and there's a little, actual thing for you to, use that would be pretty cool. Pretty, maybe useless in some cases, but still, I want some novelty with my Switch 2. But what about the problem, right? What is the issue with the Switch Joy-Cons, which we're planning on fixing? Is it drift? From the side of these rumors, no. It doesn't seem like drift is getting, or maybe drift is fixed, but that doesn't seem like a thing they're highlighting in this. What they are highlighting is a issue with the rails, right? Because this new Switch model, the Switch 2, is apparently going to have magnetic railing for the Joy-Cons. No longer are we going to have little plastic things where you slide them up and slide them down and you hold down a little button on the side. Instead, they'll just be magnets where you can shift them off, shift them back on. And that sounds very, very cool, very high tech, very fun. And this fixes one of the biggest issues I've seen with the Switches, which is when you slide them on and off, on and off, on and off, they don't stay on anymore, right? Just this tiny nib of plastic is holding it all together. As soon as that gets snapped, or if any issues with that happens, you're kind of screwed with having the Switch stay connected. And it always feels a little bit loose, a little bit I'm not going to say cheap, but it feels like it's going to break a lot of the time, at least after playing for a while. I think if you're playing it regularly, or if you're not actually analyzing how the Switch feels, you're not going to really think that it feels that sort of clumpy. I can't think of a better word to describe it. But I'm holding the Switch in my hands right now, and you sort of if you grab your Switch for yourself as well, you'll feel if you just wiggle your hand slightly, you can sort of feel the Joy-Cons as if they're, they're not attached, which is the case, they're not attached, right? It's if you just wiggle your hand slightly, it doesn't feel robust, even with the OLED, even with a regular one. Obviously, the Switch Lite is just one clump of plastic, so you wouldn't get that sort of bendy feeling of the Joy-Cons because you can't detach them with a Switch Lite. But this new magnet railing, right, if done right, I think might solve that, as well as solving the issue of them breaking off entirely, which happens to a lot of people. Because you might think they're like, oh, well, I take care of my console, I take care of this, I take care of that. Anyone who doesn't respect their tech, oh, shame on you. But you have to realize a lot of the time, the console is played by children, right? And children aren't really the best at keeping things not broken. And like, even adults are bad at keeping things not broken. Like my phone, the screen on the back has been cracked. Not the screen, the glass on the back has been cracked on my iPhone for about a year. And have I bothered to fix it? No. Did I have a case on it to protect it? Yes, yet it still broke. So things can break. It's not really a thing which you want to happen. And the more robust you make your technology, the better, in my opinion. You want to make it so it's for everyday use, so people can use it as much as they want and they don't have to really worry about the screen breaking, the controller getting dirty. You know, all these things, you kind of want to keep it as easy as possible for someone to not only clean and keep it like tidy and neat and look after it themselves, but you also want to make it so that in order for it to break, it's of a very, very rare situation. So you just want to make it as easy as possible for the user's experience at the end of the day. You want the player's experience to be as easy as possible. And one thing which makes the Switch difficult for the average consumer, or the normie out there, is the controllers, I find. I think always, whenever I've gone around family who have a Switch and they're not, you know, super gamers, right? they're just like regular peeps who have a Switch because, you know, they have some sort of game console. It's always a little bit wonky with their controllers. There's always like something wrong with them, whether that's drift, whether that's the railing broken. It's always something, and they're very expensive pieces of tech. You know, they're small, they're easy to break. So anything which can make it more robust, in my opinion, is a fantastic decision on Nintendo's end. And apparently, on top of this, the SL and SR buttons are going to be metal instead of like the plastic as well. So it really seems like they're leaning into making like that entire top end of a Joy-Con metallic and high quality. And if that's being introduced, I'm like, is it going to be higher quality plastic for like the actual controller shells and stuff? How is it going to like, you know, feel compared to the current Switch? And of course, in this rumor as well, we hear that the Switch 2 is going to be bulkier and bigger, with a bigger screen size of like up to 8 inches, and it's also going to be 1080p, a better kickstand, all the improvements which you'd want to expect. And so if they are able to nail fixing the Joy-Con, fixing this issue, and hopefully fixing the Joy-Con drift issue and improving it overall with new tech and new hardware, such as, you know, those back buttons, or like this new feature on like the right Joy-Con, which we don't know what it's going to be yet. Maybe a camera, or maybe a camera button, who knows? It's going to be a really, really good buying decision for someone to upgrade from the Switch to the Switch 2, primarily not even just for the new games, but just to experience the old Switch games on this, knowing that the Switch 2 is less likely to break. Because if they kept the current quality, right, and created some sort of business model of like, oh yeah, let's sell as many Joy-Cons as possible by having them be flimsy, that's horrible for both the consumer and just for like everything in general. So I am all for Nintendo making the quality of things higher, and you know, if the price is raised, that makes sense because it's going to be using high quality materials, but that means you're not going to be buying 3 or 4 sets of Joy-Cons each year or whatever. So sounds like a plan in my book, Nintendo. Hopefully this rumor is true, and I'm very excited to hear more about the Switch 2 officially whenever it gets officially revealed. But well, that's just what I think. What do you guys think about this rumor? Do you think this is a good idea to have the Switch Joy-Cons be improved in this way? Do you just not want Joy-Cons in general? Do you still dream of that idea of having a Switch Joy-Con be like variable like controller layouts, like having a GameCube Joy-Con, or having a Wii Joy-Con, or having like, you know, random like different types of them instead of just the standard square rectangle one we got throughout the entire lifespan of a Switch? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to Getting Mads for more on mood news and other mood news related news. Mood news related news? Who knows? Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a fantastic day, and woo! It's the end of the video. Bye!